This episode is rated M for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of the PFC Entertainment Network or any of the affiliates that make this show possible.
This is the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.
This is Creepy Soup on the PFC Entertainment Network.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to episode 133 of Creepy Soup on the PFC Entertainment Network. I am Jill.
And I'm the Hub Trophy.
Hi.
We're winners.
Yeah. It's late. It's, I don't know, maybe like 24 hours since we last recorded, so it's probably the most we've seen each other in a while.
Yeah, since Christmas.
Yeah, it's been...
Yeah, my schedule's off the wall, guys.
Yeah. And right now mine is wide open.
You know, yours is the same. Mine's just like...
Yeah, mine lately has been really nice.
I wish.
Yeah.
I'm racking up those ETO hours, though.
Those are nice.
Yes.
So Dad and I have been planning on doing like the antique shopping.
Yep.
They're being all loud out there.
Anyways.
We'd been planning on going. There's an antique mall in Freeland, and a girl that I had went to school with had did a video of one of the display things, and it's like straight out of an episode of Brady Bunch.
Oh, shit.
And it kind of made me really want to go.
Yeah.
And you know me, I like my antiques, right? So I married your dad. Any hoodle. I always find something.
Uh-huh.
What?
Sorry, I was still stuck on the I married your dad.
I can't really say that. He's only 3 years older than me.
But he'll always be older than you.
Fair enough.
Yep.
I always find something that I'm like, I have to have it. There was nothing there. The only thing I wanted was a wedding photo of some strangers that I didn't know. So we went to two different places today. We went to the one in Freeland, and there was one, it was the bride and groom, and then I'm assuming her maid of honor and the best man. And I really wanted that one. And I would have to say it was maybe a 20s, 30s photo. I really wanted it. I couldn't see paying $25 for it, though.
Yeah.
That I couldn't see. So then we went to the one closer to us. And, okay, the last time I went, I brought home a Holly Hobby doll. The same little vendor. Because you know how in an antique store that they have their own little space.
Yeah.
The same space had the exact same Holly Hobby doll. But it was $5 cheaper. I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it.
Surprising.
I know. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to. I wanted to. There was a lot of cool things there. Now, oddly enough, your dad walked out of there with some shit.
What? Dad spent money?
On purpose, too. He has been wanting, like, I don't know if it was, like, special occasion tins or if that's just how they were sold back then, but, like, saltine crackers would come in tins.
Yeah.
So he got one of those.
I don't know why I'm not surprised.
So he got one of those. And then at the other place, he started talking about how just prior to him passing, Grandpa Bill started collecting bottle openers. So I'm looking for them, and I found one. It was kind of different. Well, maybe not. He was like, "No, that's not what I want." So then we're looking, like our last aisle that we had to go down, and he finds like a little basket you'd see on a desk, like holding paper clips, and it had like 5 of them in there. And then there was another one on the shelf above that. So of course we have to go and find someone to grab a key, and she opened it and she got him out. We're waiting in line. She said that her little vendor station thing, she brought out 3 more. So Dad bought them all. Yep. Saltine tins and bottle openers.
I don't ever want to hear him bitch about you buying stupid shit.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Because that's some stupid shit.
That's some stupid shit. But he was happy. I was happy because we got out of the house. It was a nice little getaway.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow night we're going to dinner, so pretty happy with all that. But other than that, I don't think. Oh, I do know that Sunday. Okay, because yesterday, because it was 2 days ago we recorded, right? Yes. So yesterday I had lunch, late lunch, early dinner, whatever, with Sherry.
Uh-huh.
And Sherry has been doing like a lot of mediumship classes, and she's done like a couple vendor shows. And Sunday they're doing an online gallery style reading thing, her and 2 other ladies. And I think I'm going to do that Sunday while Dad's gone.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that. I will. Yeah, because this will come out early enough that I can put the information in the show notes. Of course, it's only going to be good for that day, but it's going to be Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that'll be fun. Will you be home?
No, we work 2/12s.
Of course not. And you said you work with Ron tomorrow? Okay, I thought you said something, but Ron is just, he's so fucking cool. Okay, while she's looking, I'm trying. Ron, yeah. Ron is so awesome. We gotta get back over there and do his little game show. He has a game show where you have to take a shot if you get a wrong answer. Now, I'm not much of a drinker, but I could get the answers wrong and you could take the shot.
I was going to answer wrong on purpose.
I know you would.
So I get fucked up for free.
Yeah, so I do know on our last episode we did promise like a list of New Year's Eve crimes and maybe some paranormal. Well, that did not pan out.
Yeah, I couldn't really find any.
Well,
at least paranormal wise anyway.
Yeah, I couldn't find any lists in general. if I looked up like New Year's Eve crime, it was how to stay safe, words are hard, on New Year's Eve in New York City. Well,
That makes sense.
I mean, it's whatever. So, while searching, I did find a true crime that took place on New Year's Eve in 2018.
Ruh-roh.
So shall we?
Dude, I feel like I gotta sneeze.
Shall we?
Yeah.
All
Try
right.
not to sneeze, but I feel like I got to.
See what I got up here?
Sorry, guys. What's that say?
All right, let's trauma bond.
Let's trauma bond, guys.
And I feel really horrible because a certain person, you know who you are, took down the 2 little short videos that he had. I don't want to say it was because of me, but I kind of feel maybe it was. And, our shit talking.
I'm talking shit.
Maybe.
It's true.
Because he also removed that comment from the video. So,
I really do think I gotta sneeze, y'all. They gotta.
she gonna go sneeze.
What kind of laugh was that?
I don't know. So earlier I wasn't laughing. Bentley laughed. No, it wasn't even Bentley. It was your brother laughed. And Dad said, I hate that laugh. And I'm like, well, that was me. And he was like, I hate it when you laugh like that. I'm like, that wasn't even me. That was your son.
Oh my god.
So yeah.
Huh?
So yeah. Apparently Dad hates your brother's laugh.
Dude, I hate his laugh.
Who?
Roy.
I mean, yours isn't great.
Shut up.
Alright, you done snots a lot?
I don't know, I haven't decided yet.
Well, that's
What?
just see up our nose. Alright, so let's get to trauma bonding. So my information came from the TV show Killer Cases, Season 2, Episode 1. It is available on Peacock. I don't know if it's anywhere else. I think Tubi. That is where I found it. And the title of the episode is called The New Year's Eve Murder.
It's all they could come up with?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do better, guys.
Mm. So this case, words are fucking hard, takes place in Benton Harbor, Michigan.
Oh, close to home.
Yeah. Now I didn't look up exactly where Benton Harbor is. I'm not well traveled, so I don't really know where places. I want to say it's like a Thumb area. I don't know. That's what I was thinking, like Thumb towards.
No, I think it's like south.
I don't know. We're looking. I personally feel it might be maybe. I don't know. I could be wrong. I know from here it's 3 hours and 7 minutes. I don't know. Nope, it would be like on this side of the state. So I was way wrong.
I like how. That's how
So sorry. Ignore all that. So yeah, this takes place in Benton Harbor, Michigan, where we now know where it's at.
Ish.
I will tell you, if you have Peacock or Tubi, and this case is anywhere near interesting, it is a really good watch. The first part of the episode is all body cam footage.
Okay.
So it's like you're seeing everything as it's happening.
Ooh.
It's kind of a different approach. I thought very interesting. So just after 11 p.m. on New Year's Eve, a call comes through to 911 dispatch, and it's a woman. Again, it plays audio clips. You can't really understand what she's saying, but shot, calls for help. Police show up, and it's agencies from like all around the area show up. And when they get there, there is a man like slumped against his truck, and he's got 2 bullet wounds to the head, 1 to the neck, 1 to the shoulder area.
Yeah.
This happens to be 23-year-old U.S. Army Sergeant Tyrone Hassel III.
Okay.
Now, there's also Tyrone Jr., which is his father, and not really mentioned other than talking about the whole family unit. He has a son, Tyrone IV, and his nickname was Chuck. I don't know where that came from. So, because there's so many Tyrones, the wife refers to Tyrone III as Ty. So we're going to refer to him as either Sergeant or Ty. I might use them kind of interchangeably. And we'll just call his father Tyrone. I'm going to tell you, there's a spot on that episode, and I do bring it up when I talk about it in my 80 fucking pages of notes, that seeing Tyrone on the witness stand, even though it's only like a very short clip, I teared up, I'm not gonna lie. It was heartbreaking. So the victim is 23-year-old U.S. Army Sergeant Tyrone Hassel III. He was home on holiday leave, and he was staying at his dad's.
Okay.
And his wife is Kamaya, and I spelled it one way throughout the whole thing because I really never showed her name, and then when it showed it in writing, I'm like, wow, I was wrong. I was wrong. So his wife was the one who called 911. And again, when police arrived, he was laying like kind of slumped on the ground against his truck, bullet wounds. His wife was next to him, and she was like hugging him and covered in blood, and she was hysterical. So body cam footage shows her trying to get into the ambulance with him, and they're like, no, like kind of pushing her out. She's crying, and then it shows like an officer talking to her, like what happened, and she was like, he had just got us something to eat. We were sitting on the couch eating. I heard gunshots, and I had to listen to it a couple different times to hear her say, I went to go grab my son. And then shit happened. Like,
were they all eating and they heard noises and then he went to go check and then she heard the gunshots, or?
Nope. Her story was they were on the couch eating and they heard gunshots.
But why, if he just got them food, why wouldn't he be eating?
He was eating.
But she like skipped a whole step.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I already see where this is going, guys.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
So, officers ask her what happened. That's when she responds with, he had just brought home some food, and they were eating on the couch. She heard a lot of gunshots. She said she doesn't know why or how this happened. Police inform Kamaya that he doesn't really have all the details, but it's not looking good. And Kamaya tells the officer that she doesn't think he was beefing with anybody. You can hear the officer telling her anything she might know should be shared with them. Tyrone's dad, he arrives home. My guess is it was New Year's Eve, so maybe he was up. His dad looks very young. Like, he must have been a very young dad. Very, I know it has nothing to do with the story, but very nice looking guy. Kind of had like some, maybe not dreads, but I don't know. And, nope, that's jumping way ahead. So he arrives on the scene, and this, again, is, we're referring to him as Tyrone, and the deceased as Ty. So he's actually interviewed for the episode of this show. So, yeah. He talks about seeing his son. This is one of the things that was like, he sees a son on the gurney, and he's looking at him, and he can see both wounds in his head, and there's like really nothing in his eyes, like not there. He says he was hoping they could save him, but then that's when he looked in his eyes and realized like there was no movement, no motion, no emotion, like, but his eyes were open. So
yeah.
So, okay, where's... police were doing their best to keep the scene under control, but like by now, family members are starting to arrive, and it's, you know, there, again, a lot of agencies from all over, they're all there. So they're trying to keep the scene as contained as possible. So then their first thought is this was a robbery. But then they kind of quickly
Steer away from that.
got away from that because he had wallet with money in. His phone was right there. His truck keys were right next to him. But his dad was like, he had a really nice truck. He did wear a lot of jewelry. People knew he was in the military, and his father's words were Benton Harbor is a very like low income type city, and maybe somebody was looking for like an easy come up.
Yeah.
But again, they quickly ruled that out because wallet, keys, money, phone,
Everything's still there.
everything's there. Excuse me. But now police are clearing the scene, and they are starting to collect evidence. And, of course, I'm assuming I'm hoping it's not because of their race. I'm hoping that this question was asked just because of the father saying like it's a low income kind of area. I know nothing about Benton Harbor. I've heard of it, never been there. But they asked, like, could this possibly be drug related? And the wife was like, absolutely not. And the dad was like, nope, he didn't have any type of criminal record. He wasn't about that life. So,
Well, being in the military, they drug test you and shit,
right.
so you can't.
So they quickly ruled out that it was anything to do with drugs, but they just kind of had to ask.
Yeah.
So now they're kind of thinking, so I did kind of interject some thoughts here, and I think this is where you were going with your questioning, was at this point, what's not making sense to me is if they're on the couch eating, there's no way if you hear gunshots, you're going to run outside unarmed, first of all.
Exactly.
And he wasn't armed. You're not going to run towards gunshots unarmed.
Exactly.
I don't care who you are. Unless you're bulletproof, you're not running towards gunshots. So I personally thought that didn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Right.
And
that's why I'm saying you would think it would have started out would be him chucking out just any kind of noise in general.
right.
And then the shots once he got out there.
Yeah, but that's the description the wife gives does not make sense at all.
Right. The only thing I could think of is while they were eating, he ran outside for like maybe depending on what they were eating, like a Chinese place, they provide, if you pay extra, you buy a 2-liter or whatever. Maybe he forgot the drinks, so he went back out to the truck. Like, she failed to mention anything like that.
Nope. So again, they found 4 empty casings. Now mind you, 2 in the head, 1 in the neck, 1 in the shoulder, 4. So now police are starting to think that whoever it was like maybe someone that was like lying in wait and kind of ambushed him when he came outside, which at that point would make sense that he was checking on a noise.
Right.
Kind of thing for him to already be outside.
Right.
So either that they were waiting for him or they came right up on him, because it did appear that he was shot at close range. So now they're starting to think, well, maybe it was a case of mistaken identity, because it wasn't drug related. This guy is not a criminal. So maybe it was a case of mistaken identity. And then they talk about he has a younger half-brother, Benny, that kind of ran with a little bit of a rough crowd. So they start thinking that maybe Benny was the target. So Ty was pronounced dead on New Year's Day. Doesn't say exactly what time, just some point after midnight he was pronounced dead. Now something that comes up a little later, and I don't even think I wrote it down, that she had told... Oh, God, I'm sorry. That she had told somebody that he died in her arms. So my guess is he was probably gone before he even got on the ambulance. I don't know. Or she's making shit up. Nope. Jumping ahead. So the dad says, it was very easy for anybody to find trouble or have trouble find you in Benton Harbor. So Ty stayed very busy in sports. It showed video of him boxing. He ran track. He played baseball. He got good grades. He had a lot of friends. And because he was so busy, he stayed out of trouble. So he was described as a guy that made you a better person. I mean, there's just them people that you just feel better for being around them, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know any.
I know you did not just up down me.
I did. Okay. He was actually awarded an academic, not a sports, but an academic scholarship to go to Grand Valley State University. And while still attending Grand Valley, he enlisted in the Army, where he quickly shot up the ranks and became sergeant at a very young age.
Obviously, 23.
Yeah, no, he was already a sergeant at 23 when he passed. Doesn't say, when. So this is where, while in the military, this is where he meets and falls in love with Kamaya. We don't like Kamaya.
So judgy.
That was very judgy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry. But we don't. The dad describes her as great. He loved her. She was he brought her in like a daughter. And they get married and they are deployed to Korea. But because they're married, they're in separate units, completely separate barracks, because it's common practice in the Army. I'm sure other branches of military, it's a whole thing. I know, multiple brothers can't be on the same ship, shit like that. I've seen the movie Fighting Sullivans. I've seen it. I've seen it. Sorry, I'm so tired.
Same.
Seen it.
seen it.
Shh.
What the fuck?
So they seem to have a happy marriage, and it got better when Tyrone IV, a.k.a. Chuck,
Their little hump trophy.
their little hump trophy, came along. He had told his dad he was happy to be home with his family. And then, Jesus.
Dana like the Jill.
At this point in the episode, it shows, to me, it reminds me of like a TikTok video. He's like vacuuming and dancing and doing all these cute little moves. Like, you can tell he's just so happy. And his dad said, well, he was happy to be home for my food. He was like, they had planned, like, the next day, apparently, they were going to have some deep fried turkeys, some macaroni and cheese, some stuffing, and now I'm fucking hungry.
Somebody at.
I know, sounds good. Invite me over. I'll drive the 3+ hours to come get. No, I won't. No.
I will.
And so the dad continues talking. He was like, everyone expected him because of how he was up to this point and making sergeant so young. They expected him to be successful no matter what he did. Like, they just knew he was going to go above and beyond whatever his goals were. So apparently not everything was as happy as everybody thought. Police start showing Tyrone like surveillance, because at this point they are still on the mistaken identity theory.
Yeah.
So they show him surveillance photos of different people that maybe he knew or something, because apparently this was a very popular family in Benton Harbor, which we will learn later of a thing. Tyrone had talked to Benny and felt that Benny was holding something back. Well, at this point, a neighbor, and the neighbor is so cute because it's body cam footage, and they show him. He was like, "How are you today, sir?" And he was like, "Ornery as usual." He's just this cute little old man. He's just adorable. Well, he tells the police that there was a vehicle that had parked there just prior to the murders and like a couple more times. Police received a lot of tips regarding this case, and they followed up on every single one of them, which kudos to them.
Right, because there's a lot of loony ones.
Well, not only that, but there's a lot of police agencies that just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And so, thankfully, Benton Harbor is not one of those. At least in this case. So, at this point, they talk to friends and family, including Benny, and nothing panned out, and they dismiss the mistaken identity theory. After hearing the family's pleas, like on the news, probably in the paper, like news outlets,
Yeah.
an anonymous tip comes in to the St. Joe Township PD, and it is a woman, and she has an accent. It's kind of cute. She calls, and it's I didn't write everything down that she said because
It was a lot of shit.
I mean, as it is, I'm already on. One, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I'm already on page 4 of a lot. So this woman calls and tells police to look at people in his own battalion and platoon who may be responsible. The caller says that Kamaya and another soldier were having an affair while in Korea. That Ty and the other man had words, and the other man had threatened Ty, and the caller tells police that they should be looking at the wife. So,
Like, this is what I don't understand. Why, if you're not happy, just fucking divorce and leave. Like, why does it gotta get to that point?
right.
But I've always come to find out that it always comes down to the life insurance.
Bingo. Okay, so Ty and Kamala. Kamaya. Words are hard.
Get it together.
Okay, so they were based in Fort Stewart, Georgia. And around this time, 2 Army specialists from Fort Stewart come forward, something to do with the Criminal Investigation Division, to kind of tell what took place. Ty did, in fact, know that his wife was having an affair. And the person, it was Specialist Jeremy Quaylar. He also went by Quay, but he does not deserve a nickname, especially that one. So another soldier said that he had sold Jeremy a Glock pistol 2 weeks before the murder. And he talks about, I didn't write this down, but I remember it. He talks about how he showed him how to clean it, take it apart, load it up. All that good stuff. So this is enough information to arrest Jeremy Quaylar. And they, of course, have him in for questioning the day after he's arrested. And they ask him, after they read him his rights, do you want a lawyer? And he was like, yeah. So, questions stop right there.
Obviously.
But Big Mouth Jeremy did talk to a couple of or at least one fellow soldier, and said, I did what I had to do. I got it done. He told about how many shots he fired, how he did it in the driveway of the family's home, what kind of gun, how many shots, all that good shit. So Kamaya had been to the police station, obviously days before this dude's arrest, and she was answering questions tearfully, bitch, and trying to help find her husband's killer. She never mentioned the affair. So after Jeremy's arrest, police call Tyrone, who has Kamaya staying with him, and he talks about that a little later. If they could please come to the station, and because there's some questions. Once they get to the station, they take Kamaya behind like one of their steel doors and tell Tyrone, go home, it's going to be a long night. So he's like, what the fuck? Because the next day is his son's funeral.
Yeah.
So he's like, what the fuck? Like, okay. So, yeah, I even said he was like, oh. I'm not an artist by any fucking means, but that's cute.
No, but your grandson is. It's okay.
Yeah. So at this point, police are thinking, did Jeremy act alone? Was Kamaya involved? Kamaya involved? Yeah, I said that right. Jesus, fuck.
Words are hard.
Like, was he just obsessed with her and that's what happened? So they start questioning her about the affair, and she admits that it started in Korea, but it was nothing sexual. She says that Ty wasn't treating her right, and she was just kind of like... And to me, a lot of the stuff she said really didn't make sense, because she says, like, Ty was not nice to her, and, they argued. And then she also tells the detective, whose name is Andrew Longuski, that she would never marry again because nobody would ever treat her as good as Ty did. Okay.
Okay, walking contradiction.
Oh, isn't she, though? A walking contradiction.
Joanne.
Watch it. Okay. She denied at this point having any part of the murder. Now, Tyrone is at his house waiting for his daughter-in-law because, again, he's burying his son, her husband, and he was like, what does she know? He loves this girl as a daughter, so he's like, she's got information. He does not at all think that she has any fucking part in this. And he was actually pretty worried about her. But Kamaya agrees to a lie detector test. You know what? Okay, and I think people think that because it's inadmissible, and yes, you can falsify shit on tests, you can beat it, whatever you want to call it. But I think in most cases, they're pretty, they're going to be fairly accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not rocket science. It's not,
It was created for a reason.
Right. Again, it's inadmissible, and I think if you, and this Andrew Longuski was like their chief lie detector official. Mm-hmm. I don't know the exact title, but so she takes this lie detector test, and it shows deception when she is asked about her role in the murder. So the detective starts to kind of like coax her a little bit. Now, I do agree that sometimes police do use underhanded, manipulative tactics. But I think if it gets the truth to come out, I don't really care.
Right.
And so he kind of like starts to coax her to tell her story, and then he does, and even on the stand, he does say, yes, that was manipulation, but I got my job done. Where he starts saying, like, look, Jeremy's already been arrested, and you might want to come clean before he starts pointing fingers at you.
Yeah, because he's going to get the deal and you're not.
Right. Well, he had already wanted a lawyer, so he wasn't even talking.
Right.
So
She didn't know that.
Right. So she starts spilling.
Oh, honey.
She's like, I got some tea for you. And she said that while in Korea, her and Ty had a major argument, and she goes back into the building, which I'm assuming is her barracks or something. Because, again, they're in separate barracks. Because,
Right.
And she's talking to Jeremy, saying that she doesn't want to be with Ty anymore. She's just over the fighting. She's over this. And he's like, I can handle that. And she asked, like, what do you mean by that? And he was like, don't worry, I can handle it. And then she said he told her he'd get a gun. And her quote in the audio was blah, blah, blah. She said that Jerry had come to Benton Harbor several nights before the murder from Chicago, and he had actually he was staking Ty out, and she was keeping him well aware of his whereabouts, like when he's going here, when he's going there. She was like doing the text messages, Snapchat messages, that kind of thing. You all right there?
No.
Okay,
so they're married, but they have to go to different barracks. How the fuck was she able to run into Jeremy?
She's not married to Jeremy. She's married to Ty.
Run in to him if she's going to her barracks, meaning like the all-women barracks or whatever for the wives.
Like I said, she said building. Well, she was also a soldier, so.
But that still doesn't make sense.
How
are you going to separate husbands and wives, but still let the opposite sex intermingle.
I mean, I'm sure there's common areas.
That I don't know. It doesn't make.
Well, I don't know. She said building. I assumed barracks. Maybe I assumed wrongly. I don't fucking know. I'm not a soldier, nor have I ever been one. So anyway, he had once in Benton Harbor, he had spotted him at a local nightclub. Jeremy spotted Ty at a local nightclub, but it was too busy for him to, shoot at him. It was too busy. He would have been caught, immediately. And she said that he had tried a couple other times, and either there was, too many people around. Yeah, while he was in Benton Harbor, he had, found him a couple different times.
But how are you going to sit there and try to kill somebody for somebody that you're just now meeting?
They had been having an affair.
Oh, okay. Well, the way it was worded, it seemed to me like they had... It seemed like they had just met and...
No, they were having an affair.
Okay.
So they knew each other. But yeah. So anyway, he's in Benton Harbor, and he sees him at the nightclub, doesn't shoot because there's too many people. And she said that he had tried on other times but wasn't able to do it. So on New Year's Eve, Kamaya is sending him text messages letting him know, Ty went to go get food. Ty is on his way back with food. Ty is here with food. But it doesn't say really... Okay, so wait, hold on. Not getting what? Never mind. So Jeremy was actually outside of the house waiting. So I don't... And it doesn't really say specifically how he got him outside, just that he got him outside and he shot him at close range and then dipped. Kamaya calls 911. 911 shows up. You see all this on body cam footage now. So the life insurance policy through the military was $400,000. She said the money was part of it, but the main reason is she felt that if she called it off now, Jeremy would be mad at her. And think about it, he's outside the house. He could probably kill her and their child too. So instead of calling it off, she just let it happen. So Detective Longuski asked the question, was Ty a bad man? And she said, not bad enough for this. Bitch. Like I said, we don't like Kamaya. So 10 days after the murder, at 3 a.m., Detective Longuski got the whole confession. Then they go to the Hassel family home in person. Tyrone is still in disbelief because the family took her in, supported her, comforted her, and it took him a little while to actually believe she had any part in it. But he was also the first witness against her in the trial. So her attorney paints her as a victim of Jeremy Quaylar being a psychopath, basically, and claimed that the detective manipulated her into a confession. And then at this point, they show Tyrone on the stand. And it like I said, I shed a tear. So again, one of the defense, their moves is that she was manipulated into confessing.
But if they have proof of the text messages, she's a co-conspirator.
Not only that, after she is arrested, she calls her mother and tells her mother she's in jail and why she's in jail. And the mother even says, are you being coerced into saying any of this? And she says, her exact words are like, no, mommy. Now, mind you, she's 22 years old. And that's when her mother says, like, you're 22 years old. What the fuck is wrong with you? Basically. Like, why would you conspire to kill your husband? Like, they do play the audio clip of this. So, the third day of the trial, first thing they get in there, they're waiting to find out if she is going to take the stand. And she does not take the stand in her own defense, so they immediately...
Where's the heart?
They immediately go into closing arguments. So the jury found her guilty on both counts, which one was first degree premeditated murder, and the second one was conspiracy to commit murder.
Yep.
Found guilty. So she's got life. So they wait like a month before they put Jeremy on trial. And they let him know before trial, like, your cell phone can be tracked. And then they even showed, like, they had, like, traffic cameras with his plate in the area. And that Kamaya's statements from her trial could also be
used in
his. So he pleads to second degree murder, and he gets 65 years in prison. On his way out of the courtroom, after he pleads and he gets sentenced and all that, he says something to Ty's father about wanting to speak to him. And I'm going to tell you, they said that the whole conversation lasted 50 minutes, and they play some of it, but obviously not the whole thing. So a few days later, Tyrone agrees to meet Jeremy, and it shows, it's recorded. You see both of them, very clear face-to-face conversation. And it starts off, well, throughout the whole conversation, Jeremy is actually so respectful. Not like it matters. He's a piece of shit. But he's talking to his victim's father, and he's very respectful. And he was like, I can give you details if you want to hear them and if you can handle it, if not right now, maybe someday. And he was like, no, go ahead and tell me. And it doesn't show what he says, but he does basically say, like, it was all her idea, and it was for the insurance money. And he said he did it because he wanted her, like, he loved her, he thought he loved her. And he talks about she had always said, like, Ty treated her horribly and she was not happy, blah, blah, blah. And so Tyrone, I don't know if it's the end of the conversation, but it's very close to the end of what you see. He tells him, there's one point where you can see him, like, staring at the guy, and you see the guy saying, you look like you want me to burn in hell right now, and I really don't blame you for feeling that way. Like, I get it. And he tells him, like, I hope someday you can forgive me. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I hope someday you can, blah, blah, blah. So, like I said, towards the end of the conversation, Tyrone tells him, we are a very popular family in Benton Harbor, and we know just about everybody, including people in here. And he was like, I don't know how I'm supposed to take that, sir. And he was like, just, we have friends, and just know we were very well liked, and so was my son. So that is the story of Sergeant Tyrone Hassel III, a New Year's Eve murder.
Is he still living?
No. Who? Oh, Jeremy. As of the episode's airing, yes.
Damn.
it would be interesting to look them up, because you can look up Department of Corrections and see. I do recommend, if this case is even the least bit interesting, she's going to look it up right now. I do recommend, if this case was the least bit interesting to you, I highly recommend this episode. Again, it was Killer Cases, Season 2, Episode 1, The New Year's Eve Murder, on Peacock, and I believe Tubi.
How do you spell his last name?
Quaylar. Quaylar.
Huh?
Quaylar. Yes, it is on. I don't know them. It's on Peacock, Tubi, Sling TV, Plex, Hulu, Fubo TV, Philo, Disney Plus, and Amazon Prime Video. So if you have any one of those and you want to watch it, again, it's Killer Cases, Season 2, Episode 1. It's just, it really is a good episode. And like I said, I got misty-eyed listening to his dad on the stand. And he even says, like, you wait your whole life for your child to be old enough to still be your child, but also be your friend. Yep, that's him.
Well, that's how you spell it.
Okay, well, I'm not a spellologist.
I can't.
Yeah, really, really good, really good episode. Where is it? Okay, I'm not finding it. Okay, yeah. The dad is, I don't know, you just feel like you could hang out with the dad. Like he just seems like that kind of guy. So yeah. I think that's pretty much all we have. If you're looking for Creepy Soup merch, PFC creepysoup.printify.me. Any other PFC Entertainment Network merch, including Creepy Soups, that would be pfcstore.printify.me. Anything else we got to say? Seeing as how it is New Year's, please have a safe New Year, a happy New Year. Don't kill anybody. Do not wait outside their house. If don't do it.
It's very frowned upon.
No.
Unless you really need that vacation.
No.
Just joking.
Dude. But please be safe. Don't drink and drive.
Yeah, don't do that.
Be responsible. It is illegal to shoot guns at New Year's to celebrate, so don't do that either.
Right.
I think that's it.
Right.
You got anything?
No.
If you have any true crime or paranormal stories that you've experienced, creepysouppodcast@gmail.com. Any story suggestions, same place. Do you want to tell them a little idea that we came up with? Well, she came up with, actually.
Oh, about the sharing?
Yeah.
For anybody that wants to email us a personal story, whether it be a crime that happened close, surrounding, close, like how we spoke last week, the last episode about, we just so happened to know somebody that committed a serious crime, murder, or anything paranormal. If you want to email it to us and maybe even be a guest on the show, rather if you're comfortable with video or just a voice, and share your personal story. We want to start doing that. And that was my idea. Just something new, and to, incorporate you guys for showing us all the support you've been giving us.
Yeah. Because like we were talking, and if we get any that we read, they were like, there's no way we're going to do this justice.
Right.
It's like too good, too
Yes.
juicy. We would definitely reach out to you, probably as a reply to your email, and invite you. Feel free to say no, or feel free to say, fuck yeah. And we would love to start doing that. I think that was such a good idea. I loved it. Yeah, so start emailing your stories. And
Yeah, we really want to hear them, for sure.
We want to hear them. We want to be entertained. Do we have anything else? I think that's it.
So.
Just have a happy, safe new year.
Yes.
Don't Xanax and drive. Don't get drunk and trauma bond with strangers. You may have erased your comments and your content, but thank you, Jerry, because you really gave us new material. Right?
We need Xanax.
So anyway, and just so you know, don't think that comment wasn't screenshotted.
Because it totally was.
It totally
You're
was.
welcome.
So
You're welcome.
I don't know. Maybe we should.
Once it's on the net, just because you delete it, don't mean it's really gone.
Yep. So
Sucks to suck.
Yeah, we do have your comment, Jerry. So I don't know. Maybe I can go on the page.
Maybe.
But I think maybe we'll hit close to home, and he realized he was busted. Like a can of biscuits. Anyway, have a safe and happy new year. Bye.